I want to say this. The thing that always blows my mind about relationship with Jesus Christ is this thing of grace. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
But the reason why it blows my mind is because God gave us free choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God gave us choice.
Mm-hmm.
Did not require us to be good. He allows us to choose. And so I just always, should we want a Christian country? From the perspective of that we're trying to legislate Christian beliefs and ideologies? No. Would I like an environment where those things are espoused? I would love that if people are choosing it freely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment we decide to remove what even God gives us freely, I think we find ourselves in bad shape.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Boom! Hey,
What's up?
What's up, fellas? It's Monday.
Pastor
Yeah.
Debleaire Snell.
I'm in the house.
Pastor Kirk Nugent.
We are here.
David Person.
That's
David
right.
is in
We
the
are
house.
here.
That's right.
We are here. We are fired up and ready to go
Yeah.
Another one.
for another episode of Breathe.
Another one.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a juicy one. Now,
love it. I love it.
like all the episodes, this is going to be a juicy one, I think, because we're going to tackle today the topic, should Christians want a pro-Christian government? Now,
Yeah.
let me set the table a little bit if you preachers will allow me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's set the table, right?
So, very recently, a commission, a government, sort of a quasi-governmental body, the Religious Liberty Commission, was wrapping up its meetings, and it may still be wrapping up its meetings actually when this podcast drops, and they have been discussing various aspects of how religion and public life and governmental life should intersect, right?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
one of the things that they have put forth is that the idea of the separation of church and state is a fallacy.
Oh.
That it never should have been, I guess, articulated. That it has
Really?
no bearing, no justification. You know, they just slam down hard on that. And I think, if I remember correctly from what I read, one of their recommendations to the president and maybe other governmental entities is to for the government to actively work to destroy this concept that has been held to for literally for hundreds of years in this country.
Okay.
The idea of the separation of
of this country.
Many of us would argue is foundational, even though those words are not in the Constitution.
Yeah.
The reality is that the First Amendment, you know, talks about freedom from religion. You know, and
Especially legislated religion.
that's right.
Yeah.
Legislative religion and government-endorsed religion. Also, one of the founders, James Madison, and well, actually two of the founders I know for sure, James Madison and Roger Williams, in their writings outside of the Constitution, were very clear that they felt there should be a wall. And I think Thomas Jefferson maybe also, that there should be a wall between organized religion and the government.
Yeah.
And now this so-called Religious Liberty Commission is coming along saying just the opposite.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's it's interesting. You know, there's a statement that kind of says history never finds balance. And that basically history is essentially a series of actions and reactions to those kind of those actions. And so I think kind of in some ways kind of how we find ourselves is there I think it's a reaction to. I don't think it's a period not too long ago where religious voices, and now let me be clear, there's some religious voices in this country that practice this false martyrdom. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of exaggerate it. But I think that there was a time where just kind of there's the belief that, like, if you express belief in, say, traditional family values or certain morality, that cancel culture had become so strong that those voices kind of felt stifled, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And I think what that did was it created like this groundswell or this reaction that says, man, we cannot keep letting it go that far. So we need to impanel some things through policy to ensure the moral fabric and placement of God or religion in the country. And so I think in some ways you kind of have this reaction to, and I think sometimes where we confuse, Dave, is I think sometimes we confuse the influence of fallen culture with government.
With government.
Like, meaning like the world is it's just going to always be the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's the pride of life, it's the lust of the eyes. It's like, like that's the world. Yeah. But I just think to try to address the world, not with the gospel, but with policies that enforce the gospel or require the gospel.
That's it.
I think it's fundamentally flawed. And I know you were going to talk about it, but just so, like, do I want a Christian nation? No. I want a nation that practices religious liberty. Yeah. Meaning that I have freedom of conscience, that I am able to preach the gospel, I'm able to receive the gospel, I'm able to live the gospel without threat of government harassment, so on and so forth. Right. And I just think the church's influence in culture, it ought to be through our personal witness, man, just the examples we set, through the message we proclaim, and the influences through how we persuade people, through appeals to conscience, not by implementing policy that makes them read the Bible or makes them acknowledge the 10 Commandments or requires them to do certain things, because I just don't think that ever really creates or leads to genuine conversion. It's just conformity. That's it. It's just outward.
That's it.
Beyond that, going through the motions, conformity that really does not reflect the change that the gospel of Jesus Christ is supposed to bring about in the heart.
We have seen the resurgence of legislation in this state as well as others that is requiring the 10 Commandments to be posted in schools. Yeah. That prayer. Attempts to bring prayer back, public prayer, back into public schools. Yeah. And it seems to me that what you just said really I think, dissects what's really going on there and points out the problem, which is that having the 10 Commandments on the wall or even having prayer in public schools is no guarantee that a child is going to become a Christian.
It doesn't. It doesn't. So I just think that in those sections, what we want to do is have it where, okay, if kids want to pray, or they want to study the Bible, or someone's curious, there's a space where they can meet and do that without harassment, so on and so forth. But kind of when we begin making these requirements as if everybody's conscience is led in the same way, soothed, comforted in the same way, or as if everybody aspires to those same values or beliefs, I just think it's fundamentally flawed. Because honestly, when we, I just think those of us who believe in religious liberty as a value, one of the reasons we hold that as a value is perhaps you can foresee a day where the person or the party in power now holds beliefs and values that are counter to mine. Yeah. And if they want to require, the reading of the Book of Mormon, or not the Book of Mormon, but the what's the
Quran.
the Quran
Yeah.
or another, what the Buddhist idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you have somebody and now they're requiring that,
Right.
now we've got it puts you in conflict with your conscience.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just think those of us who are saying, man, are touting Christian nationalism or a Christian nation. No, I think like we're saying we want the gospel to go forward. But I think what we're saying is we want a place where religious liberty is available for all people, regardless of what they believe.
Yeah, so the Hindu can practice
Hinduism,
Hinduism,
yep.
the Buddhist can practice Buddhism, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The other,
And can I say this?
Yeah.
Especially as those of us, some of us who are listening, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist.
yes,
We're considered in some ways a minority Christian denomination.
right,
And a lot of people see kind of what we believe is kind of weird and kind of strange. But like the rights to practice that's available because, you know what I'm saying?
Liberty.
Because there is that separation of church and state that says, okay, I can come into this house of worship on a Saturday or the seventh day of the week,
right.
free of harassment, and bosses can't require me to work and so on and so forth, I'm just saying, like, if anybody ought to have a sensitivity to it,
Yeah.
it should be us of all people.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think the other reason, or another reason, to not want a so-called Christian government or pro-Christian government is that just as the church can have undue influence on government,
Yep.
government can also
So, yep.
have an undue, and I would even add a corrupting influence on the church.
That's right.
Mercy.
Yep.
We've
That's
seen
another
it.
reason for the wall.
That's right.
Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, we've gone down this road already. I mean, when in terms of Rome and others, I want to say this. The thing that always blows my mind about relationship with Jesus Christ is this thing of grace. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
But the reason why it blows my mind is because God gave us free choice.
Yeah.
God gave us choice. Did not require us to be good. He allows us to choose. And so I just always, should we want a Christian country from the perspective of that we're trying to legislate Christian beliefs and ideologies? No. Would I like an environment where those things are espoused? I would love that if people are choosing it freely.
Yes.
But the moment we decide to remove what even God gives us freely, I think we find ourselves in bad shape.
But even when you think about persecution in the first centuries, like let's just be honest. Like when you look at just the crucifixion narrative, Pilate, Herod, they didn't care nothing about Jesus.
No, they
Right.
didn't.
Like they didn't care anything about it. Like the only reason they went along with it, it was them kind of using the church for political
Oh, yeah.
momentum. Like these were political movements. And even the persecution of the first centuries of the Christian church.
That's it.
It was because essentially Judaism was exerting influence on the government of Rome to say, man, this little sect, like this new little ideology, yo, you got to get that under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christians paid the ultimate price. They were jailed. They had their land seized. Some were killed simply because, like, when religion tries to, dictates politics.
Yeah.
This is essentially what you have.
Yeah.
Or when you have the primary or just, the kind of the witchcraft or idolatry of Babylon.
Mercy.
That says, all right, listen, Nebuchadnezzar, nobody should bow down or pray to any other god
That's church and state. Yeah.
but you.
Yeah, that's great.
And see,
too.
and when church and state mix in that way,
great point.
now you got Daniel and the three Hebrew men, or just those who are believers in the one true God. Now they're at a place where they're going to have to choose between their convictions or their lives. And we were fortunate, of course, we all know the story of the three Hebrew, we call them boys, the three Hebrew men who said, man, our God is able, but if not, we will only worship or ascribe glory to the one true and living God. And so I just think that, do I think that as believers, should we be salt and light? And should we be engaged civically? And should we be participants in government? And should we be aware, so on and so forth? But it's not, our strength is not through policy. Like Jesus, like even when we talk about the whole Christian nationalism thing, Jesus said, you know what he said? My kingdom is not of this world.
That's right.
He says, if it was, I would fight for it. In fact, like that was a part of the disappointment of Jesus. Like he's supposed to use all this power politically to get us out of this situation, so on and so forth. But he's like, nah, that's not the kingdom.
That's it.
I'm using this kind of power for. I'm going to send power, but not that kind of power.
Yeah.
I'm going to send the Holy Spirit. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I just think that's why, there are just a multitude of reasons why, man, I'm all about Christian liberty, but a Christian government, those are two different things.
Yeah, Christian liberty.
And I think we see examples of the corrupting influence. If you think about, you've used the term Christian nationalist several times.
Yeah.
And if you think about some of what is espoused by Christian nationalists, you see that some political, ideological positions have infiltrated that movement and have dictated some things that seem antithetical to, I think, what we would say is good biblical
hermeneutic truth.
Hermeneutic truth, including, I'll just cite one example. The idea that there are two that come to mind actually. One is there's a Christian, one of the Christian nationalist leader, the guy who's really at the center of this movement, is a pastor out in Idaho, I think it is. His name is Doug Wilson.
Yeah, is that Hexex pastor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And among the things he espouses are these: women should not be able to vote.
Yep.
Wow.
And slavery was really not that bad.
Not that bad. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Now, by my understanding of Christianity, that doesn't hold up.
Doesn't hold up.
Neither one of those things
None of
holds
those.
up.
But
But that's in his worldview, Christian worldview, it does.
Yeah.
And there are real implications for that belief.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we talked about in another episode, where it's just Christianity being the costume. It's just what covers the other ideology that would not be palatable if it was not dressed in Christian garment.
That's so good.
And that's why I think as believers we've just got to be super wise and discerning. And it's funny because Jesus is like, man, in Matthew 7, it's just like everything's come to pass. He's just like, man, be not deceived, for in the latter day, false prophets, false Christ, they're going to come. And like the ideology is like, they're actually wolves, but they're going to come in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
And that's why I just think we have to stay sober, alert, and aware, because I just think that time is fully upon us,
So we are looking at a very real possibility with everything that is happening currently, that there are going to be legislative attempts to change the direction of our government and the tone of our government.
Yep.
Using Christianity.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're saying here now, be aware, pay attention, and be prayerful and mindful as we enter into what I think is going to be, I think we all think is going to be a challenging time.
Yep. And just remember, those same entities, that if they can harm the liberties of others, they can harm unique religious liberties that we hold.
Exactly.
That may revolve around things like Sabbath, so on and so forth. So we just need to be mindful.
Amen.
So as we face these realities, these possibilities, we implore you more than ever to stop, pray, and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.